guys, welcome back to another New Legacy podcast. I'm with Trulane Brown. He is a personal and business loan specialist. He's one of the best in the Bay Area. So we're going to learn a lot from him today. We're going to learn how we can take our personal life and our business to the next level via funding, and also he's going to share his story with us. And also he's on a journey to elevate and help a lot of people, through his content and also his services to elevate and live a better life too as well. So welcome.
How's it going? I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. So, True, tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, when did your hero's journey start? When did you start this journey to be where you are today? We're in a penthouse, by the way.
Oh yeah. Actually, I started a long time ago from when I was a kid. I mean, I come from Oakland. I'm from East Oakland, by the way. And when you're around a lot of people that probably don't have much, you have to find a way to get to it. So what we did is we started all the little services and started doing all the little things we can do to make money. So I like to say it started like about 35 years ago when I first started saying I need to do something for me, and that's going to generate income and make some kind of impact. That's what it was.
What kind of childhood do you grow up? Do you grow up like middle class family, upper class family, or like lower class family?
I grew up at a middle class family, but the income, I grew up in a middle class family, but in an area with a lot of low income people. So I had both parents. I mean, we did pretty good. They did pretty good, actually. Both of them had jobs, but then a lot of my friends, they weren't doing well. They were living in probably housing projects or subsidized housing. So when I went to school, I saw a lot of people that were struggling, but my situation wasn't the same. So, I mean, I grew up pretty good, man. I wouldn't complain about my childhood. My parents were who they were. It's just that seeing what was around me allowed me to start figuring things out and making decisions on my own at a very young age.
Wow. So when did you start this entrepreneur hustle mindset journey, man?
Okay, again, so in Oakland, right around the 80s, mid 80s, the 90s, a lot of things changed in our community, man. Stuff came in, people started changing. So what I did is being that I hung around a lot of individuals that were struggling, we had to figure out how to make some money. So we started seeing guys in the community that were actually hustling. They was trapping, they was hustling, they were doing whatever they were doing. So we kind of wanted to be a part of that. But to be a part of that, you needed some level of discipline, some level of knowledge, or you could easily get swallowed up by that. So I want to say I was about 10, 11 years old. I started hustling, doing whatever it took to get money, and it kind of led me into one thing to another, and that's when I ended up coming up, per se, around 15, 16. I really had a big come up. Things jumped and drastically changed for me, and then here we are now. It was a bunch in between, but yeah, we can get into that also.
Yeah. And also, man, one of the coolest things when I first met you, you're like, yeah, dude, check this out. I have a bullet in me still,
Yeah. See, so what had happened with that was actually about 3 or 4 months ago, I was leaving out of an establishment in Oakland, over in which I consider to be my city still. I was born, raised here, contributed here, and I lost a lot here. And a couple guys approached me, and it really was a botched robbery, man. These dudes ran up on me. Hey, give me the watch, give me the chain. I'm like, all right, hold up, man. It was a little tussle that ensued over my stuff, and then gunshots were exchanged. Really not even exchanged. Gunshots were fired. And I caught a couple of them, and you know what it did? It took me down, put me down. I'm still recovering from that, but no excuses, you know what I mean? In these situations, they happen, and we moving forward. We just gonna keep pushing. That's all I believe in.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. And then can you elaborate a little bit more on your journey towards, how you find yourself to be a loan specialist for personal and business? How did your life go from a hustler at 13, 14, 15, growing up, just hustling, just to get your name out there, making a living, to a loan specialist? How does that transition happen?
So that's a good question. So I was hustling, right, for a long time, and hustlers use cash. When you get certain amount of cash, it's hard to use the cash because certain people start looking at you funny. They look at you different. Yeah, so my life changed once an older guy in the community told me that having cash isn't the only way that you're going to be able to do things. So if you want to start buying property, owning a business, and getting different income besides what you're getting, you're going to have to do something different. And I'm thinking that cash was king at the time because I had a bunch of cash. So what he did, he broke it down to me about acquiring loans, building credit, obtaining assets. it was amazing to me because I was like, well, how come nobody never told me this before? All I knew was get money and put it up, maybe shoebox under the mattress, whatever that concept was back then. So when he showed me that, I gravitated towards it and I wanted everybody to know. So I started yelling and screaming about it. And this was about the year of 1999, 2000. So what happened is I started acquiring assets and I started investing some of the money I had. And I also started helping people. That guy and we ended up opening up an office way back then. So we opened up an office, and then we ended up opening another office. So we ended up with 2 offices, and we weren't even presenting it as financial literacy, although it was. We just had a consultant company that was helping people build and establish credit. That was one of our only things, and that led into the loans, which we were able to help people get loans for homes, businesses, commercial vehicles, whatever it was they wanted, and no one really was doing that around our community at the time.
So, like, you were just, hustling, just trying to make it, and, you're just heavy cash on all of your deals, and then you're just hustling out there, and then once you discover credit, you're like, wow, this is like a whole new, different, like.
Yeah, exactly. It was a whole different lane that that I wasn't familiar with at all, and most people in urban communities aren't familiar with now, more so, but still with so many people that don't understand the concept of credit, building a business, establishing yourself more than just having liquid cash. So many people just need to understand that concept.
Yeah, I think like that. What you're doing is really cool because you're taking like this idea where the wealthiest American, they know how to use credit, they know how to leverage all of this tools to get themselves to the next level. But now you're packaging it and you're taking that and you're giving to the community that need it the most, like the people in Section 8, the people that are trying to build themselves, the people that are starting their business and everything. You're just giving them the tools to compress the timeline where they would take, it would take them probably forever to take, their business from like 1 to like 200%. But you can like, hey, let me compress the timeline, give you the asset you need to take your business instead of like to 200% next year. It's 300, 400, 500.
Oh yeah. That's that infinite growth, and so one of the things that made me excited about it is like seeing people who may not have thought they can achieve these things. Like a person that may have lived on subsidized housing in an urban community, which they call the ghetto, but I don't believe that is true. They get them having the ability to buy a house, them having a bank account and actually seeing it grow, then getting an investment property. So a person from zero to buying a property for their primary residence to obtaining an investment property, to me, that was a big deal because, again, you're renting, you're shopping at the corner market, and people only telling you that you can't have nothing. So that, to me, is what kept me in it, even though I might have moved away from it for a while, but I still went right back to it. So one of my main missions is to help the underserved community, the people that may not have access to certain resources, the ability and the knowledge to obtain a property, to help themselves get out of a position where they think they're claiming defeat. For me, it's so many people that just don't know, and we only know what we know. So like I said, my main mission would be to help those people get established, build something, grow things that they may not have even visualized that they can grow themselves. Yeah, I just believe that people deserve the opportunity to help their families out, man. Get a new car, a better house, pay for their education without taking out so many loans, investing the money that they are able to obtain. With that right there, people, it just changed the dynamics of your whole life, man. The family relationship, the relationship with the community, and being able to contribute. See, if you're not able to contribute, then people look at you like you're doing the society a disservice. So I would much rather be able to assist people that come from urban communities. Like I said, they call it the ghetto. And if we would have believed that, we never would have been able to achieve anything. So I'm working daily to this day to help the disadvantaged, the people who might not have the belief that they can accomplish certain goals.
In your point of view right now, where you're at, like what kind of advice would you give someone that's starting out, like to get to where you're at? Because I know it took years. Like you told me you came from the ghetto. You were like pointing over, like, yeah, man, I used to live right there. Look, now I'm freaking at like the top of the building here, penthouse, biggest building in freaking Oakland.
Okay.
Like the tallest floor,
Straight up. Well, for me, right, this is the advice I would give a person just starting off. You're going to have to grind. It's not going to come overnight. Nothing easy is coming overnight. So If you get started now, you can fail fast and then get right back up and keep going. Because the thing is that so many of us believe we're supposed to have exactly what we want right now, and that's not the case. Without the hard work, without the perseverance, you just won't get it. I mean, you can watch other people get it, and then a lot of times I know that we have information overload. What I did and what I still do, when I see something, I take action and I implement it. We're going to find out if this works really fast, and if it's not working, we'll start adjusting it from there. So I just think that people should just find out exactly what it is they want to do, get as much information as they can about it, but start implementing that thing, because here it is like repeating the same action over and over is what creates the result. Not trying something, stopping and trying another thing. So nothing would work if that was what everybody did. So when I got started, I'm looking at things like, okay, 100 days of the same exact behavior, maybe with not even one result, but I'm gonna go to 101, 105, all the way to 300, and then things start happening. So I would just tell anybody that needs to hear this, keep going. Just keep going, man. Don't listen to whoever's saying you won't succeed. Whoever's telling you what you can't do, you don't need to be talking to them anyway. But once you keep grinding, once you keep going, you will see a result. That's just how it is.
Yeah. And like for a lot of people, like once they start the hustle and they start to make some process, some process and some progress against where they're going, like how do you deal with family members, friends who are like constantly trying to pull you down to their level, right? Like I know you had to deal with that, and like you handle it really well. I could obviously see you on the phone doing that too as well. Like how do you do that?
One of my main core beliefs is that either you're coming with me or not. So what I'm gonna tell a person, family member, friend, if I care about you, I'm gonna give you the most real, straightforward advice possible. Come on, let's go, because we can't carry any extra weight. So if a person doesn't want to get up and move, if they don't want to do it, like, okay, I'll tell you this real quick. I was a hiker for about 3 years when I was younger, involuntarily, matter of fact. When you're hiking up the mountain with a crew, every man in that crew has to hold their weight. We're hiking with 100 pounds of weight sometime. With that being said, you need to carry your weight. So anybody that's not carrying their weight, I'm not going to say you're going to leave them behind, but what happens is they have to stay where they are until someone else can come help them, basically a rescue team. Right now, though, there's no rescue team coming to get you. There's not a way out. There's no rescue team, and nobody's coming to save you. No new president, no new governor, no new mayor is coming to save any of us. So we have to stay on our grind. We have to move forward with progression. If not, we'll end up looking up the next day, the next week, the next year, and be in the exact same place we were. Family, friends, even my own children, they have to get up and do something or stay where you at. I'm not staying there with you, though.
So, I love that you say that, but for, some people, like in my situation right now, like I elevated really fast, and then I had the mentality, if you come with me, if not, boom, I'm going to the top regardless, right?
Yeah.
But how do you deal with like loneliness, like freaking overwhelmed with feelings? How do you deal with like just like how do you not get burnt out while you're elevating so fast? For somebody's entrepreneur, they literally like 10x their life in a year or so. Like, what are some advice you can give them that can like help them, stay on track and not like fall off the trail?
So what I did is I became super disciplined. I cut off all of the vices that I was really, one of my main vices was drinking and partying, messing around with different women that might not have been the best women for me. So I cut those things out first. Then I engulfed myself into the gym, fitness, working out on a regular basis, jogging, things of that nature. Once I got on a different program, becoming more disciplined in structure, my focus changed. I only was doing things in succession. I wasn't answering calls from people that weren't trying to contribute to what the process was. So a lot of people calling like, come on, let's go to Miami. Come on, let's go to Vegas. It's another party here. Well, didn't we do enough of that years ago? I'm focused on a goal. I'm going to keep pushing towards that goal. Now, another thing I stopped doing too is paying attention to other people's lives. One of the biggest things that hold us back is paying attention to other people's lives. We see the good part of their lives, not the grind. Here it is that it's easy to look at any social media site and you can see success, 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 but you don't see the struggle from behind the scenes. I know what the struggle feels like. I actually like the struggle because it tells me something else good is coming from that. Most people want the result and not the struggle. So for me, once I got disciplined, I start eating right, stopped the drinking, stopped chasing women, things in my life shifted, and I'm telling you right now, I'm on my way to levels that I've never reached in my life before.
Wow. And that's crazy, man. Like, you're on the path. You might be getting your first Lamborghini, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah, he's getting his first Lamborghini pretty soon,
Oh,
and it's not even the base model.
oh
It's the
yeah.
Performante.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So what that is that remind you, I came from East Oakland, right? I come from Oakland. This is a part of the city where they tell you that you're not gonna probably do anything but be here. You're stuck here. The teachers told me that. The police officers told me that. I can remember a time one of my teachers told me, man, all you're gonna ever be is just like all those guys I see standing in front of the liquor store. You
Wow.
know where he ended up? In front of the liquor store. He got caught drinking on the job. So you're gonna tell me that's all I'm gonna end up doing, and you ended up doing that. Haven't seen him in years, but once I decided that I wanted more, I'm not settling for what people told me I was supposed to have. I want the things that seem to be out of reach, so I'm willing to do what it'll take to get those things. Most people aren't. Most people want what's attainable easily, like oh, I just want a Tesla. Nothing wrong with Tesla, but how about if you aim for a helicopter, you can get a Rolls Royce? How about if you aim for a jet, you probably fly first class the rest of your life? But most people only want what's tangible and what they can see right in front of them, not me. I walk in faith. I seriously walk in faith. So I can close my eyes. I know that my goal that I'm trying to obtain is at the end of the path.
Wow. So my media business actually took off.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
I would say about a month ago, and I got opportunity to interview and spend some time with a lot of amazing entrepreneurs like you. And the one thing I found that's in common between all the entrepreneurs that I'm meeting right now, this like top level, successful, got so much things going on, is that like you guys are very aware.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Like top level, a million problems to deal with every minute, but you're so aware of everything that's going on. Like you're so present.
Oh yeah.
How you do that?
Well, the thing is, the path is so many things that come at you at once. So for me, first time, okay, I'm gonna tell you a quick story real quick. When I got in the game and I started hustling, my first goal was to make $50,000. Oh my God, I can't wait. Once I make $50,000, I'm gonna be in a great position, a great position, a great position. So I did that by the age of 15, but on the way to that 50K, so many things were approaching me. So many of the elements came for me. I was robbed. I was arrested. I was the victim of a home invasion. People ran in my house, put me on the ground, tied me up, ramshacked the house, looking for money, looking for things in my house because I was on my come up. I just happened to be aware of it and I got out of the situation alive, and this is why I'm here today to tell the story. So with that being said though, when you're not aware, it's almost like crossing the street and texting at the same time. You're likely to get hit by a car. Therefore, I'm always looking out of my peripheral, I'm listening, I'm keeping my ear to the ground. Nothing is too big or too small for me to listen to. Again, I learn from all directions and I'm always willing to receive information, see how it applies and use it accordingly.
Yeah. So very aware, and you take action very fast on
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
like you're like, hey, this is the plan, boom, boom, and I let like we always work together. Like, hey, this is the plan, layout, boom, and you take action right away. Like,
Oh yeah, oh
that's
yeah.
one of the second trait that I saw with all these high level entrepreneurs. And the third trait, I think that's like this is probably the biggest one, is that like you lead with your heart.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Like, it's freaking crazy. Like, business is all relationship, really. And I see that like you can't be a salesman in the game of business. If you're a salesman, you're gonna get kicked out of the business
Oh,
really
yeah,
fast.
yeah, for
They'll
real.
see through your holes. But yeah, I wanted to, if you can expand on that, like, how do you build better relationship in business, and like how can somebody starting out, soon or today or so, how can they lead with their heart?
In my opinion, what works for me is like, what would you want somebody to do if they were in your situation? How would you want them to treat them? So I speak to people every day, constantly, and I have to hear the story of why they need and want the money. So I've heard everything under the sun, but I know it's more to come. So I look at it like this. Would I want someone to take advantage of me when I'm in a situation of vulnerability? No. So I definitely I would rather help a person and make less money than screw them over and make more. I was in a business that I wasn't proud of before, and it cost me so much. So I know what taking shortcuts and I know what doing things unethically will get you. Therefore, right now, I vow to only help people. I vow to look at people, understand their situation instead of just how much can I make off of the person. Therefore, I'm able to provide the best service that I possibly can, or refer them out to the best service that I possibly can. Because I mean, without my name, I have nothing, man. Again, going through everything that I've been through, all of the situations that could have broke me down and had me in front of the liquor store like a drunk alcoholic, down bad, I avoided it, and I'm seeing people every day still choose that route. It's no way that you have to choose a route that you're not going to be proud of every day when you wake up, that you can assist somebody else accomplish their goal. It's no way.
What would you say was your biggest breakthrough moment that you had, that you could recall and like share with us, that we have some stories, some value that we take away today?
I think one of my biggest breakthrough is when I really start investing into my personal development. Once I start getting around people that were high level, far beyond where I was, where I had to listen and learn, I think that defining moment right there was able to take me somewhere where I didn't even think I can go. For instance, a lot of my friends I was hanging around with, they were cool with just getting $1 million. Like, oh, if I make $1 million, I made it. If I only stayed around those people, that would remain my goal, and that's all I would be able to do. So I go around people that are high level, 30, 50, 70, even one or two $100 million people that accepted me into the community, and they're only talking big moves. They're only talking moves that are going to get you to another level. So therefore, I go in there as a student, not as a know-it-all. I come into the room to listen, but also if it's anything I contribute, I'm definitely offering anything I contribute, because I'm not there to take away without giving. So I will give first, as well as listen, receive, and always remain a student. Some people know it all, and you come in as a know-it-all, then you can't learn anything. You're blocking anything that you could possibly receive.
So can you tell me some stories that are like the highlights or like the pinnacle moment of your life where you use that as fuel for your entrepreneurship journey? Because this journey is not easy at all. There's a lot of burned bridges you have to made happen, and there's a lot of like sacrifices you have to give in order to get to be the top of the food chain, I would say, for entrepreneurship wise. Can you share some stories?
So a big part of my life was this, okay? So one of the things for me is that living a lifestyle, hustling, growing up in East Oakland, being a product of my community, it cost me a lot. So what happened is I ended up getting arrested and getting 12 years in state prison and 7 years in federal prison for a total of 19 years. In between this time, I was taken away from my family. I was unable to see my kids graduate high school. I was unable to participate in so many things, loved ones passing away, the growth, everything that a person would want to participate in their life by going to prison. So what happened for me is that I learned from that there is no shortcut. You have to do things the right way. Once you try to cheat the system, then you become a person that's just unlimited in borrowed time. So with that being said, after that, I decided that I would only do things that were beneficial to myself and my family, that were going to contribute to the growth of my next generation and creating my legacy. So after doing all of that time, needless to say, I had to start all over. So you're talking about a person that was doing things only the way that they wanted to do them, having the things that were afforded from that lifestyle, but it was short-lived when it was all taken away from me. So from there, rebuilding and seeing that it was possible to build something starting from the ground up was so important to me. For other people to be able to see the change in me and to see what I'm being able to accomplish without doing the things that I've done for so long, it just meant so much to me, man. It made me feel so good to be able to create something from the ground floor that turned into something now that can provide me the lifestyle that I desire. So here it is that once you go to jail, once you get arrested, when you're released from prison, they tell you, my counselor told me that I was a disadvantaged minority and I should go get Social Security, something like $800 a month. I thought she was crazy. I was thinking in my head, even told her, I think you lost your mind. I'm not a disadvantaged anything. I have all the opportunities in the world as long as I push forward and put my mind to it. She laughed at me. Here it is. She's still working the same job. She's still miserable. She's still trying to figure out her life while I'm living exactly the life that I chose instead of the life that they told me I had to live based off of what I've been through. So no matter what, you can fall off, you can get back on. I mean, think about this. The first $1 million I made, it was about 21 years old.
Wow.
I gave it all back by 25. I was in prison. I was able to get out of prison, start over, and create a legacy, something that I can be happy with and proud of by helping other people. Here it is. I would do what I could do now for free if I didn't get paid for it. However, I am compensated for what it is that I do, which is help people get personal and business loans. So many people don't even know they qualify that. It's still so many people in this day and age that don't know that you can establish a business from home by the end of the week and be up and running on your way to obtaining $50,000 in business funding, credit, etc., that's going to take you and change your whole family's life. So I'm here to tell you that as long as you push forward, don't listen to negative outside influences. Please just don't listen to that. I could have gave up a long time ago. I had every opportunity to give up. Here it is. I chose success over failure, and I'm going to keep pushing. And I also want to bring a lot of people with me. I don't think it's too much. I don't think it's lonely at the top. I don't believe in that. I think we all should be there together if you choose that. If not, I mean, go for that opposite end of the spectrum. When you grow up in an urban community and you see most people don't have anything, again, I come from a middle class family. We weren't on government assistance of all of that. Both of my parents worked. But when I went to school and I saw some of my friends getting free lunch, but I had to pay for lunch, it really opened up a light bulb in my head. It turned that light bulb on, like, why are things like that? We look the same, we live in the same community 3 or 4 blocks from each other, but I have food at my house and they don't. Going to one of my friends' house at 7 or 8 years old and they didn't have any food in their refrigerator and our refrigerator was really filled with food, it changed my life. So what that did is it made me, even from back then, want to assist people. So we used to cut grass for money. We used to push baskets for money. We even sold candy for money. And my whole purpose was to make sure my friends were able to get $10, $15, $20 that they can take home, buy food, and that family ate. Now, I did get carried away with it when I started making fast money, and I paid a serious price for that I could never get back. But I also learned lessons that I may not have been able to learn in college. I may not have been able to learn working a 9-to-5 job for someone else. You know what I mean? Once I had children of my own, I just didn't want to see them struggle. I didn't want them to not have the things that I had when I was a kid or more. Here it is that we live in a world where we still taught these limited thinking beliefs that you're not supposed to do that. You should only have this and you should get a house and get a white picket fence. Well, that wasn't my vision. That just definitely wasn't my vision. My vision was to be able to travel, live what I want, have what I desire, and I think you should do it too. It's no way in the world people can structure our beliefs. And one more thing, stop listening to influencers. They just have a voice and a platform. All influencers aren't here for your best interest. They're for their own personal interests. Here it is. You have to go learn for yourself exactly what you want to do, choose the path, and carve it out. Once you do that, you'll get much better results than listening to Susie Q or John Doe over here that just told you to do things that they thought you should do, and it's still going to land you to the same place where you've been for so long.
So, like, how can people get a hold of you? Like, obviously, you're here to help people with business funding and with personal funding. How can people get a hold of you and learn a little bit more about your business?
My Instagram is Trulanes Way, and I can be found on LinkedIn and all other platforms under Trulanes Way. We help people get in between 10 and about 150K to start their business, grow their business, and to do whatever it is that they desire. Basically, what it is also is we help people establish their business entity, build it up where they are fundable, because most people are not. They come in and they're not even clear of what they want or even what they need to do with their money. So we have a multi-level service and a lot of resources that we offer to our clients. It's just that you need to jump on the phone with me or one of my associates, and we definitely can get you to your goals.
Wow. And for you, what is your next big move for the next 12 months?
Over the next 12 months, I want to build a program where we're inside the program teaching people everything they need to know so that they come into the game ready for whatever it is to build and grow their business to the highest level. So many times I feel people come in with not the right credit, personal or business. So we want that will be included. Also, I plan to build a community where people can come together, meet, share ideas, exchange resources, and grow from there by helping each other build. We're going to build off of each other, and then we're going to accomplish our goals together, as well as create a network that'll go international.
Wow. So it's like a coaching program?
I'm going to, I will more or less a coaching program slash
Implementation action.
action implementation group. I think a lot of us have great ideas and we just don't implement them. So I want to say more so of a action implementation group than a coaching program, because it'll be myself as well as many experts in there giving actionable steps where people can take themselves to another level.
Got you. And before we close out on this podcast, what is one thing that you can give to the audience, whether they're starting over today in their business or they went bankrupt or something big happened and now they're like, let's say all your money was gone. All the properties you have are gone. All the cool cars you have are gone. Advice you can give somebody today that they help them get back on their feet, move forward, and compress the time they have to get to the success they need to.
I'm going to get started. All you have to do is get started. Once you get started with a structured plan, you follow the plan to a T. When you start freestyling too much, you get off track and then things can go awry. What I would do if I had to start over right now today, I would build from the ground up. I would start contacting people that needed my service. I would even door knock. I would go open the white pages and call every business if I have to. But being that we're in an information age, I probably wouldn't have to do that. I would get online and I would partner with people who were in the same industry as me or in a similar industry, and I would get as many clients as I can that need the services that we provide, and I would offer those services almost at a discounted rate to show them that I'm capable of getting them a result. Once I do that for 3 or 4 people, I would ask them for testimonials. I would ask them to, shop me out and make sure they show people whatever they were able to accomplish with my services, and I will build up from the ground up. More importantly, I will repeat the same process over and over until it turns into something. I wouldn't quit. I would grind as hard as I know how until things start picking up.
Yeah. Well, this is we're at the end of our podcast right now. I just want to say thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to interview you, a little glimpse into your life. I know we got a lot of cool stuff coming up for you, and you got a lot of cool value and knowledge to share to the world too as well. I think you're going to inspire a lot of people from the urban area. You call it the ghetto, but yeah, man, you're a shining example of what not giving up looks like.
Well, Zune, I appreciate you, man. I mean, I see your growth. I see you building up your business from the ground up. And a lot of people, even me, didn't see you doing this because before you were on a different path. So you're a prime example of why people should focus on their goals. Here it is that your business is growing at exponential speeds because you were focused, because you didn't take no for an answer, and just based off some of the referrals I have for you, along with the big people you're working for, I see your growth, and it's not going to stop here. So this time next year, you'll be really hard to talk to. So thank you. Thank you for putting me on your platform, man, because this time next year, man, it's going to be far beyond where you are now.
I appreciate you, man. And also, I'm still running across America next year, March to September.
Oh,
so,
wow. Wow. Support the cause, running across America. Who do you know that would do that? Yeah. Support the cause.
And if you want to, hop in on the run too, it's 150 days. So hop in one of those days. We're doing a podcast every day.
Okay.
And we're doing a meet and greet every night and full content, like literally every day.
All right. Cool. Thank you.
Amazing show.
All right.
But yeah, man, appreciate you so much, brother.
Thank you. All right.